This is Nigeria's first family health, lifestyle and entertainment radio station, 107.3 Darling FM. Hello and welcome to the World News. I am Chidera, Rosecamille, Aneke. Here are the headlines. National Assembly raises panel to avert strike over minimum wage. Immobilize decries slow pace of road constructions in the state. United States trial finds AstraZeneca COVID-19 vaccine 79% effective and no blood clots risk. Details shortly. National Assembly says it has constituted a 9-member committee to fashion out modalities for the implementation of the national minimum wage and other demands of the parliamentary workers in order to avert the proposed strike by workers. This was disclosed by the clerk to the National Assembly, Olatunde Ojo. The National Assembly chapter of the Parliamentary Staff Association of Nigeria had issued a 2-week strike notice to the management over their demands. They demanded, among others, the immediate implementation of the national minimum wage and payment of other allowances. Special advisor to the clerk on media and labor matters, Austin Adeshoro, in a statement said Ojo, while inaugurating the panel, said the management will continue to make workers' condition of service and welfare a matter of priority. Ojo explained that the 9-member panel, chaired by the Secretary Human Resources and Staff Development, Felix Onwese, was set up in order to attend to issues of welfare raised by the workers, while stressing that the need for dialogue as a reason for the situation instead of unnecessary agitation. Nigerians have reacted to the House of Representatives' plan to make first degrees in form of Bachelors of Science/Arts or Higher National Diploma HND minimum qualifications for election into the offices of Nigeria's president and governors. The bill is being sponsored by the member representing Ethiopia Federal Constituency of Delta State, Ben Rolands Ibaba. Ibaba said it would help put the seekers and occupants of the higher offices on their toes, in that proper discretion acquired through good education will be required to effectively run such offices. Darling FM has more on this report.
There's been controversy over the qualification of the presidency for the past 4 years, as the House of Representatives take a stand that anyone seeking for the office of the presidency should acquire HND and BSc. This is contrary to what is currently obtainable in Section 131D, that a person shall be qualified for election to the office of the president if he has been educated up to at least school certificate level or its equivalent. Speaking with Darling FM on this issue, Imo State All Progressive Grand Alliance ABGA chairman John Iwala says the country's problem is not based on academic qualification.
There is no president in Nigeria that is not educated up to the current level they are seeking. The problem of Nigeria is not based on the academic qualification of whoever is a senator, legislator, governor or president. The problem of Nigeria is anchored on corruption. What I expect the House of Reps to do is to promulgate a law, enact a law, pass a bill into law to fight corruption.
According to Iwala, the National Assembly should focus on establishing electoral offences tribunal and commission,
where if somebody rigs himself into power and finally when the court sacks the person will be arrested and be prosecuted for electoral offences and other related matters, where the person can go to jail.
Also speaking, elder statesman Fabian Abba believe good leadership isn't always determined by educational qualification.
If I am interested in certification rather than in ability, then that's very unfortunate. I think it's enough to say general certificate of education. That is being the person can read and write. If somebody can read and write, what again do you need? And a man who may have a PhD in something but is ignorant about every other thing. I think even putting that qualification there is unnecessary. If people have found somebody competent to perform, you should perform without talking about certificate. Somebody can have a PhD but is very, very ignorant compared with a man who has not for school living certificate. So people should be assessed for a job and not certificate.
Abba noted with this bill there will be forging certificates by people seeking elective positions conditions.
When you introduce certificates, you have introduced forgery of certificates. And I think this country is not a beginner. There's a number of people who already have matured for this job. The only problem I think we have in this country at the moment is that the way we are running the presidential system is a difficult system to run. Makes it worse because the Americans have some checks and balances. We don't have.
Speaking with some Nigerians, they believe the bill will improve the leadership of the country.
To a large extent, I think that bill is good, but the system is already the way it is. I don't think necessarily that is not the problem of Nigeria. We know what our problem is. So if only we can start solving our problem from where it's coming from.
Even though it's not only the HND and BSc education that will do this, but at least it's a foundation. And we believe that somebody that has that level of education, should be a bit exposed to what's going on around the world now. So yes, it should be a requirement.
This aids the fact that there are natural-born leaders whose charismatic dispositions stands them out. A good number might not be privileged to acquire education at a higher level. The bill is specifically demanding the alteration of Section 131 and 177 of the 1999 Constitution. The bills are expected to be listed for second reading in the House soon. This report was filed by Aneke Kingsley for Darling FM News.
State-born industrialist Edozie Onyako has found that the recent rating of Imo State as the unemployment capital of Nigeria by the Nigeria Bureau of Statistics. Onyako disclosed this in a press statement made available to Darling FM over the weekend, expressing concern over the 56% unemployment rating of Imo State in the latest rating. He blamed past administrations in the state for allowing the rate of unemployment to rise, stressing that previous administration in the state paid lip services to employment generation for Imo teeming youths. Edozie Onyako called on Governor Hope Uzodimma to encourage investors to come into the state and contribute to its economic development and growth. He affirmed that only the private sector can diversify Imo economy from public service driven to private sector led, with emphasis placed on industrialization of the state, which he noted would tackle unemployment. Tenants of a two-story house situated at Ebu Road, Owerri, marked for demolition by government, have demanded compensation from Imo State government to enable them relocate to a better and safer place. Speaking with Darling FM, one of the tenants, Ferdinand Mbono, appealed to government to give them space of at least 6 months to enable them organize themselves financially so that their businesses and families will not suffer much.
Place have existed for 42 years, and we asked the landlord. He said he has everything. He has survey plan, a building plan, CFO. So for something years now, he says. Then they came in this time of the day, saying talking about Nana Akutu and all the can. We don't know. They have their own. The landlord have every evidence to show now. All the legit from government. Yeah, and I renew China our this time around. Oh yeah, I know. God will just let all of to make way. Time let it sort with the landlord, and the landlord will come to us and relocate. I say Ghana ebedo to Ghana ebedo to another audio.
Another tenant who did not want his name disclosed urged government to compensate the owner of the house so that he settles the tenant.
Supposed to consider us, irrespective of age. We are his children because he's the governor, so he have to consider us. Now we have to look for accommodation. Looking for accommodation is one thing. Another thing, the money to pay. Like I have a family of 6 with 3 people now that orphans that lost their parents. They're with me here. So considering the situation of things now, there's no money. We are preparing to go out, but where is the money now to pay for accommodation?
Government officials had marked the said building for demolition and mandated tenants to vacate within 7 days, saying that the house was on the middle of the road being constructed from Ihechuwa Street, back of Relief Market down to MCC Road. Following the construction of road in the metropolis, Imolais are worried by the slow pace, saying that the rainy season is already here. They noted that the devastation caused by the rains have brought enormous loss to them. Our correspondent has more on the story.
Residents and shop owners at MCC Urata Road, Were North Imo State, have decried the dilapidated state the road construction left them. Speaking with Darren FM, one of the victims, Madam Grace Opara, a physically challenged retired teacher who the flood sacked from her home after the downpour, called on the state government to come to their rescue.
Right, alright. By day, my brother fall, my son fall, me to so my brother like my son I fall.
Also, shop owners affected narrated that commercial activities has been crippled in the area.
Everywhere mixed up, muddy water, not even muddy, smelly, dirty water. They should find a way out of this now. This whole place is mixed up. It's really mixed up. They should find a solution to it, because if any rain comes here and this thing they packed here, they need to move it. I don't know why they have to keep this thing here. I've told them they should remove this thing from here. It contributed a lot to all this whole thing that somebody's facing now. How will you use this kind of big tractor and cover somebody's house? Even the little space that will have the water will move out. It could not move out because the tractor blocked everywhere. They should please do.
Cross romantic of a sheba or speed before I forgot a room. I was on beats. I won't pass 3 times before.
Even a man will be, but property man will be. Even my television, my enemy. Even I got the one, each barangaya jelly or one elia. Chineke Merebele, Ogada Olenian, Tijirana get home, the height of flood over in here. I went to Amanachineke, where I went to the Bara. Your parliament, so a big government in Aneke government in the Obag. On
When asked about the cause of the flood in the area, the contractor, Mr. Gideon Okusen, stated that it was normal but assured that with the road's construction, it will help go a large extent.
Of course, the flood will be ending their houses even before now. Look at the level of the road. If you look at the level of existing road, there's no reason why flood will not enter into houses like this. This area we are talking about, where we stand, the drain has not come to this point. This is why we are constructing drain on both sides, is to avoid this problem they are having now. So normally when there's a war going on like this, you experience these initial problems of flooding here and there until when we are done. By that time, the drains will have been put in place.
Imolites are worried that the rainy season will meet up with the ongoing road construction, while calling on the state government to fast-track construction process. Isn't Glory Alozie, Darren FM News.
Thank you, Isn't Glory Alozie. 44-year-old woman Ijoma Kenneth has petitioned the Zone 9 Nigeria Police Headquarters, Umuahia, Abia State, through her lawyer, Ezinwa Onyem Mejalan. Speaking with journalists, Ijoma alleged that her husband, Kenneth Ikechukwu Njoko, her brother-in-law, Emeka Lazarus Njoko, and his wife, Ihoma Emeka Lazarus Njoko, attempted to murder her in their house in Aba.
Sinjoku Ijoma is married to one Kenneth Ikechukwu Njoko. We live in Aba. We have 3 kids, 2 boys and a girl. The man has been maltreating me so much, and I have been enduring it because of my kids. Even last Friday, him and the brother who is living with me in the house since last year ganged up and beat me mercilessly. He called me out when I was in the house and started asking me whether did I see any decoder, that the brother is looking for his outside decoder. I said I did not see any decoder. From there, the brother now started telling me that he will deal with me, that he would tell me that he's from Aba Ngwa. So immediately I was talking to his brother. The wife of the brother now came from the back and used iron and hit me on my back.
The victim vows to head to court for a marriage divorce.
He used the only house that we have in Aba and borrowed 15 million naira from the bank, which he ate without giving me anything. Even the matter is in the court now with the bank. Even right now as I'm talking to you, he doesn't sleep with me more than 25 years now. He doesn't look at me as a woman. I've been married now since 2004. I got married August 20th. Yes, I want the police to get him arrested and let justice prevail. Immediately I'm filing for divorce immediately. Yes, I came to lawyer to report to the lawyer what happened, the incident that occurred last week. Yes, I have the intention of going to court because I don't want the marriage anymore.
This is 107.3 Darling FM, where if you are just joining us, you are listening to the world news. In the news, National Assembly raises panel to avert strike over minimum wage. Rise to cry slow pace of road constructions in the state. Still to come, United States trial finds AstraZeneca COVID-19 vaccine 79% effective, no blood clot risk. Stay tuned.
Missed any of the developing stories during the week? Do you want to get up to speed with the news? Tune in to the People's Radio 107.3 Darling FM at noon every Saturday for the Week in Review. The Week in Review, reminding you of the week's stories today.
Thank you for staying with us. Now to the following saying. Following its United States Phase 3 efficiency trials, the biotech firm says AstraZeneca's COVID-19 vaccine is 80% effective at preventing the disease in the elderly and does not increase the risk of blood clots. It said 79% effective at preventing symptomatic COVID-19 in the overall population and 100% effective at preventing severe disease and hospitalization. Several countries had advised against administering the jab to older people due to a lack of data among elderly participants in previous trials, and also paused the use of AstraZeneca shot over fears it might cause blood clots. The pharmaceutical firm said in a statement that the US Phase 3 trial of the vaccine developed by AstraZeneca and Oxford University involved 32,449 participants, with 2/3 receiving the jab. Around 20% were 65 or older, and about 60% had health conditions associated with a higher risk of severe COVID-19, such as diabetes, severe obesity, or cardiac disease. Previous trials have shown living up to 12 weeks between jabs increased its efficacy. And that's the world news as produced by Ezine Gloria Lazier. You can reach our news desk for coverage and eyewitness report on 0818-732-5104 or send an email to darlingfmnews@gmail.com. You can also listen to Darling FM from anywhere in the world. Go to www.darlingfm.ng and click to listen. I am Chidera, Rosecamille, Aneke. News update is at 5 p.m. Good afternoon.